Hello YouTubers, I'm Tom in the beautiful city of Chicago, and in this part 3, we're going to install the flywheel and the flywheel cover. If you haven't seen part 2 or part 1 or 2, you might want to back it up and take a look at that on the playlist. It leads right into this, but what we're going to do here is just the flywheel and actually the coupler too on the back end. So with that being said, let's get started and get that flywheel in. All right, we're ready to put the flywheel in. We have to put in our starter motor gear mechanism. I greased it right there. I put a little two-stroke oil right on there. That's what the manual calls for. Kind of strange. And then the gear in there coming directly off the motor, they wanted some grease too. Also a little grease back here. So this just pops in right like yay. There's nothing you got to do, you know, when it spins out and it engages. Now, the tricky part. This is to get this key in. There's a key that holds the flywheel square with the, you got to give it a little tap, love tap. Get it down there. Okay, there's a groove. There's a groove in our flywheel that has to go over. Has to go in there. Let me make sure I line it up. There we go. All right, so we got the key in. See, the key keeps it going. Now, let me get my gloves on because it's cold out here. That metal, ooh, it's tough. Now, they also want you to put a little two-stroke oil on the bolt here. This bolt will tighten on itself, so you don't use any Loctite on it. Come on, two-stroke oil. There we go. There, just a little bit. Get it in there. Start cranking it down. Now, Yamaha says there's a flywheel holding a mech bracket, and it goes between here and here, and it has some teeth that hold in there that hold the flywheel. I don't have that. I couldn't find that online, so we're going to do something a little interesting. Let's see, I'm turning that way, so it goes like that. So we're going to do that. That will hold it in place. And we torqued this down to 56, I think it was, or 53 foot-pounds. And we should be able to get that. This should go down real nice. It's got it seated. Okay, here we go. I may need, spending the bolts, I may need to use a crowbar instead. And instead of going out so far, I will go as close as I can. So put the crowbar in here, get it swung around. Okay. Oops. And this is going to be a little difficult. These bolts aren't strong enough for the 54 foot-pounds. There is another alternative. And that is the coupler. The coupler goes on the back here. I could use that and put the crowbar in there. That would give me a good solid square place to to hold it. Now this just locks on itself. So they say to torque it down to 43 foot-pounds, 50 so on. 53 foot-pounds will be fine. And we have to put some of this 572. So this is over on this end. And here, this just spins on. This is where it connects to the jet pump. There we go. All right, now I'll take the crowbar, wedge it in like that. All right, now this is gonna go like that. There we go. So now, I don't know if you can see this, turn it this way, and I will do the torque. That should hold it in place. Like I said, I'm glad I have a stand here. And I've got this motor on. Come on. Click. There we go. We got the click, 53. So, we're in good shape. Got this flywheel on. Let me get these out. It was an idea. I thought they would hold, but I guess not. Now this back one was supposed to be torqued at, what was it, 40? It was actually 25 foot-pounds, so I guess it's a little more than what it needs to be. But it should be fine because it's taking an awful lot of torque back there. All right, I had said we were going to work on our cylinders and get them on the top end, but I changed my mind. Want to put the flywheel cover on first before we get to the cylinders and pistons. This is a brand new gasket, and I had to put a little gasket maker right here to hold it in place while I put it on. The other thing is there's 8 bolts, and one's a short one, and it goes right here. The torque spec calls for, what was it? It was 11 foot-pounds first torque, and then 36 foot-pounds on the second torque. So, and then the other thing is there's the grounding cable that goes on here up there. So let's get some Loctite on these babies, and let that drip down, let that drip down, let that drip down, down. Okay, now there's 2 pins that have to go in these holes to line up everything. That stator has to be centered on the flywheel there. So let's get this nice and centered. Oh boy, it's got an attraction. Magnetic, there we go. Nice. Looks like we got everything in. Let's get our short bolt, because that short bolt goes right here. I'll go ahead and speed this up a little bit. It's just putting in the bolts, then torquing it down to 11 foot-pounds, and then 36 foot-pounds. There's no torque sequence here. What you'll do is you'll just crisscross things. Just make sure you've got that cover seated correctly, the pins are in, and you should be in good shape. The interesting thing about that cover is it mounts to the base or the hull of the Jetski, so it's taking a lot of torque. So those bolts need to be Loctited and torqued correctly. we have this part, the bottom end assembled. Now we'll move on to our cylinders, get those prepped, torque them down, and then hopefully put the carbs on and then throw this thing back in the jet ski.
All right, we're getting close here. We're ready to start installing our cylinders and pistons. I've got a picture here of the finished product. That will be in video 4, and we'll go over that, torquing down the cylinders, installing rings, things like that. But if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. In the future, we're going to have a lot more videos on repair, maintenance, and riding. So stay tuned and please subscribe.